Hey guys, how are we going today? I hope we're all having a lovely day. For today's video, I'm following up on my past two about my wish lists. So I know I've mentioned before everything that I wanted on my Sephora wish list and everything that's on my ColourPop wish list. So today I'll be doing my Revolution Beauty wish list, or I've got it written down here as Makeup Revolution. I'll always just refer to them as Makeup Revolution. So I was actually a little bit surprised that there is so little on my wish list at the moment. There are a few things on there that I already own. So things like my concealer and my foundation that I do have. And I think that that's only so that, you know, I know if I ever go through the ones that I have and I don't happen to be sitting here at my desk when I'm ordering them, that I know what colors I am and I don't have to get up and run and check. So I used to have quite a lot more on my wish list, but things have kind of just, I've grown out of them. I didn't particularly want them anymore, but there are a couple that have been on here for a while. So let's get into it. I'm just going to give you a quick look again at my past wish lists. So this is my Sephora one, this is my ColourPop one, and this is my Revolution one. So there's not a lot on there, but it's quite possibly because I do already own quite a few of their products. Like I think I have five of their palettes and, you know, 4 of their blushes, 3 or 4 of their blushes, and, you know, a few other like contour palettes, highlight palettes, quite a lot of lip products actually. I didn't quite remember how many I had until I looked in my drawer a few minutes ago. So I'm not surprised that there's not a lot on the list at the moment. The things that are on here have been out for quite a while as well. I have found recently that there's not a lot of their recent releases are really interesting me. But everybody's different, everybody likes different makeup. Just because I don't like something doesn't mean that you don't love it, or, you know, there could be people out there that hate everything that's on my list but love all of the new stuff. So let's get into this. The first one is the matte lipsticks. Now when they brought out their, is it the Lip Vault? I don't think it's the Lip Vault, but they brought out the 4 different types of lipstick in like 25 different shades, I think it was. I ended up with quite a few of them. So I have 5 or 6 of the sheer glosses. And the only reason I got these in the gloss formula was, 1, because it was a couple of dollars cheaper each, and 2, because I think I only had 1 or 2 glosses in my drawer anyway. So I do love glosses. I've always been a glossy kind of girl. Even from when I was a kid, when I was a teenager, I always just loved to put gloss on top of whatever I was wearing. So I only got the glosses because they are sheer and because I didn't know what the colors would be like. It's always difficult buying lipsticks online, and I figured I'd get the glosses, I'd swatch them all on my hand, I could compare them all and then see, you know, if I was still interested in those colors once I'd used the gloss, I might buy the lipstick. So 3 of the glosses that I have, the lipsticks have actually made their way onto the wish list, and they're in the shades Ballerina and White Wedding, which I have here. So Ballerina's up the top, White Wedding's down the bottom, and the shade Glorified, which is in my, I do have it. I thought it was in my handbag. So those are 3 right there. And when you look at them, you're like, oh yeah, they're all nude. But they're not. When you swatch them side by side, Glorified, which is the top one, is more of an orange color. And it is a lot easier to see the differences in the actual lip gloss, in the actual lipsticks themselves as opposed to the lip glosses. The next one down is Ballerina, which is more of a nudie color, and White Wedding, which is a bit more, not rosy, but not purple, but it's just a bit darker. I do have a couple of others that are even darker still, but I don't think I'm likely to buy this one in the lipstick because I think it would be too dark for me, and the type of colour that I wouldn't necessarily wear. I am still happy that I've got the gloss because it does look really good trying, like when you put it over the top of a nude colour and it just darkens it that little bit. But these three, I love these three in the gloss shades. I think I've got, yeah, so here are the other three that I do own in my drawer. These three are the ones that I use the most, and they are the ones that I would buy in the matte lipstick when I use these and when I use up a few more of the lipsticks that I have. So the next ones are fairly similar, and they're the powder matte lipsticks in Rosie and Teddy. Now, I'm not necessarily a big fan of matte lipsticks in general, which is why another reason why out of the 6 glosses I have, only 3 of them, and out of the 25 that they offer, only 3 of them are on the wish list, because I don't know how their matte lipstick formula wears. And I'm a bit iffy about the powder matte lipsticks as well. Now, Priceline in Australia do stock the matte lipsticks. They do only stock one of the shades that I like, so if I want the other 2, I have to buy them online from Revolution. So I know how the formula swatches on my hand, and I know how it would wear, like swatching that next to some of the other lipsticks in my handbag. I know how it would wear. Like, you know how you wear a lipstick, you put it on your hand, you can tell how it's going to wear. Same thing. But with the powder matte lipsticks, I don't know how that's going to wear. I don't know if the shades are going to look any good on me. And I don't know how I'm going to like the formula. I've never tried any powder matte lipsticks before, so I'm a bit iffy about that. But it is still on here. You know, it's like a lot of the items from my other 2 wish list videos. It's on there, and if I get it, I get it. If I don't, I don't. It's one of those ones that doesn't fuss me too much. The next one I really love, and I really love all the colours in it, and it's the Reloaded palette in Jeweled, or is it the Reloaded Jeweled palette? Something like that. So a couple of years ago when this one came out, so this is the Reloaded Passion for Colour, I really loved all of the colours in this one. And right now on camera, they are picking up beautifully, particularly these 3 down here and this one. I absolutely love them, but looking at them in real life and when I got the palette, it's a lot different to how I thought it would be, and it's a lot different to how the PR shots showed it. But I have seen a few other people using the Jeweled palette. I had hoped that this one was going to be like the colours in the Jeweled palette. Like, that one came out first. So the one I have came out first. And I was hoping that it was going to be exactly like it was in the PR shots. I was a little bit disappointed, but look, I can still make the colours work, but I just don't use it nearly as much as I thought I would. They released the Jeweled palette, and I love it. I love it, I love it, I love it, but I already have a rainbow palette. I don't need a second one. If anything should ever happen to that one, or, you know, for some reason I'm able to buy the Reloaded Jewel palette, I think I would really like it. And I just love the colours in it. I think that it would expand on what eyeshadows I have, and I'd be able to create a lot more wearable looks. I just don't think that that palette is, the palette I have, the Passion for Colour, is as wearable as I thought it would be. But it's all good. The next item on here, and I think the next couple are mostly base items, is the Translucent Hydro Matte Setting Powder. Now, I have a couple of powders at the moment, and they're mostly pretty good. The only issue I have is that I get extremely dry under eyes, so where I conceal and, you know, where you need to set your concealer, that's where I get dry the most. So the powders that I have are fine if I only apply a little of them. If I apply a little heavy-handedly, it can be very drying. It actually makes my skin worse, so it actually dries it out a lot more, and it looks really cakey. I'm sure everyone's had that thing where they've overpowdered and then it just looks terrible and looks cakey. And considering how oily the rest of my skin is, and even how oily my eyelids are, like, I don't understand how my under eyes are so dry. It just, yeah, I don't know. So I'd love to give this Hydra Matte Setting Powder a go and see if that helps. I've heard a good thing about some of the other Hydra Matte powders out there on the market. I haven't really heard much about this one, but I figured if I'm going to give any of them a go, it's going to be the cheapest one. You know, if I like that kind of style of powder, yeah, I might branch out and get one of the more expensive ones once I use it, but until then, I have enough powders and stuff at the moment, so we'll just see how we go. Next one is one that I've wanted to try for so long, and it's the Matte Base Foundation. Now, I've mentioned it, I have oily skin. I have used a couple of the Revolution foundations. I have their Conceal and Define foundation, which is really good, and this shade is actually a really good match for my skin. I'd love to give the Matte Base Foundation a go, and I think once I work through the foundation that's in my 20 in 2020 challenge at the moment, that will be the one that I get to replace it. Next two items are the same but different, and they're the collab with Patricia Bright. They're the face palettes in the shades Summer Sunrise, well, in the palettes Summer Sunrise and Bright Moonlight. I was a bit unsure about which one I liked the most out of these two. One is made for very fair skin and the other is made for, you know, kind of light to medium. Well, not very fair, but, you know, very fair to light skins, and the next one up is for, you know, light to medium skin tones. And I just love the differences between them. So I saw them all swatched, so there's 4 of them. I saw all 4 swatched on different coloured, like different skin tones. So you can see all of the colours on the different skin tones, and I figured that these two were the most likely to suit my skin. At the moment, I don't actually have any like joint face palettes. I've got, you know, all highlighter palettes or all contour palettes, but I don't have any that have, you know, highlight, blush and contour. I love both of the shades of the blush, and I think they're really nice. I love both of the shades of the contour and the bronzer. I think they're really nice, and the same with the highlighters as well. I think one of them would suit me really well in winter and the other one in summer. So if they ever bring these to Priceline stores, I'll definitely have a look at getting them then. But at the moment, I'm a bit unsure about, you know, buying anything more online. Same as what I mentioned with the lipsticks earlier. It's just really difficult to tell. And the last item already on my list is the Maxi Reloaded palette in the color palette name, I don't know, Big Shot. And as soon as they brought this one out, I just loved it. I loved all of the colors in it. You know, it's a rainbow palette, but there's different color variances and different shades of each color. And I've mentioned a lot about my previous palettes and, you know, what I'm hoping to do eventually with, you know, doing a build your own palette, lots of different colored singles. I would love to have something like this to be able to use. I think I could create so many different looks out of it with, you know, all of the different colors, all of the different shades, all of the different dimensions. I have one of their Reloaded palettes, and it's the Big Love palette. I do like this one. I'm sorry, I'm just trying to open it. I do like all of the colors in this one as well, but it's pretty much, you know, pinks, purples, oranges, neutrals, browns. And I do love all of those colors, but I've mentioned it before, majority of the palettes I have are all of those colors. So I want to bring a little bit more color into my collection. And, you know, with blues, like I have maybe 4 blue eyeshadows, and with greens I have probably about the same, and that's it. So I just love to be able to create some different colored looks if I want to. I know I'm actually filming some videos at the moment with focusing on one color looks only, so I think it would be really interesting to see what I could do. Even maybe not doing a full face with just one colour, but, you know, doing an eye look with just one colour and just seeing what we can do. I think it would really help to kind of flesh out what I already do have. So there's not a lot on the list that, you know, is absolutely wowing me, absolutely, oh my god, I must have it. But there are a lot of things on here that I do definitely like, and when I get a chance, or if I get a chance, I will most likely end up buying some of these, using some of these. I'll keep you updated, probably not until the end of my no buy, well, hopefully not until the end of my no buy challenge, unless something terrible goes wrong or something extremely good happens. But yeah, let me know what's on your wish list, and, you know, how you're feeling, what's going on. I'm really interested to know. Comment down below, but until then, I'll see you next time. Bye.